afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis, hence the name of my channel, Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. 4 years ago, I was asked to come up with a series of videos that were filmed inexpensively. We don't use digital cameras, we don't use fluid head tripods, we don't use shotgun microphones, we wear tatty shirts, we just use a phone. But we look at cars that you can buy for a budget up to £1,000 only, and we very much enjoy ourselves. These are cars that might be in cosmetically bad condition. You might see oil leaks, rattly dashboards and cosmetic imperfections, but we go all over the country and we find these very inexpensive cars that you all seem to enjoy watching. So viewers, we've got this very nice weather. We've come to this little park to have a look at this 2001 Daewoo Nubira. Unfortunately, Jerry, who owns this car, had a bit of a problem on the way here, and literally this has just happened, which is a shame. Fortunately, he's got a headlamp for it and the bumper will sort of, you know, pop out, but he's going to have to get a new wing for this. And Daewoo Nubiras are exceptionally rare cars. They weren't common particularly when they were new in this country. Now, I don't know, 20, 25 of them left, something like that. Very, very rare car, but I'm blessed anyway to be driving this today. It's in excellent condition, this car. Obviously, like that wheels got to be cleaned off and things like that, but it's actually done 25,000 miles, which is totally insane. It's about as crazy as you can get. I mean, who would thought that this would have come up, having been in a garage for about 5 years, for sale recently. Jerry and his brother, they have a collection of Daewoo's. They've had tons of them during their time, and this is one of the latest ones, although it's going to be repaired now, which is a shame. It will be repaired and be put back as immaculate as it is. The only other issues of this car is some of the paint on the rear bumper, but I mean, you can hardly see it actually in this light, but there we go. The first generation Nubira, there was a second one of course as well, was sold between 1997 and 2002, like the Lanos and the Leganza, which were introduced at the same time. And we'll be looking as well at Leganza that Jerry's brother has as well, which is also a really nice one. So we look at the interior. This is a facelift car. Facelift came out in July 1999. The interior of this car is absolutely immaculate. There is nothing wrong with it, which is amazing. This car was bought new in 2001 and remained in the family until May this year. So absolutely incredible example, really. The gear change, which normally in these goes a bit floppy, and the Geely Gator goes a bit sort of horrible, really. This is perfect. You can see here that we've got some very standard instruments. This is, being a facelifted car, has slightly different interior. Like this panel here, for example, is a different colour from the earlier ones. In this country, a lot of these cars can be Sony stereos. This actually has a 6-disc CD changer in the boot, which we believe to be a factory or dealer option. Very simple interior, very sort of typical late 90s kind of Asian car interior. Reminds me a bit of like a Suzuki Baleno, but a slightly smaller car versus Baleno than one of these, but similar in character to one of these, I think. In that, you know, it's all very sort of kind of curvy and with sort of vacuum formed plastic and things. Nothing particularly kind of sort of luxurious in there. This is the base model of the two. There were two models, the SE and the CDX. This is an SE. And so we've got air conditioning. We haven't got, though, electric rear windows or body colour bumpers. The alloys, we believe, were like an upgrade, because a lot of the SEs had wheel trims, I should just call them, not hubcaps. But we believe this car was fitted with upgraded alloy wheels, as well as the Sony 6-disc CD changer in the boot. We'll take a look in the back. Somewhere sort of interesting sized car. This it's between sort of like a Focus and a Mondeo. It's sort of between the two of them, like the Aspero was as well, a bit like that. So got sort of brand look Nubira lover. So Jerry's got sort of some branded merchandise for old Daewoo's and things. He's crazy about them, which I can understand, because I love old Daewoo's as well. And we'll see some stuff he's given me in a second. But you can see manual rear windows. We just get in the back of here. It's strange, it's not quite as big as an Aspero, but then it sort of wouldn't be, because the Aspero was replaced really by two cars, the Nubira and the Leganza. Of course, we'll look at the Leganza later, but this is a little bit smaller than an Aspero, which is interesting, really. Be kind of a similar price car to sort of like a Focus or an Astra at the time. Again, very sort of typical late 90s Asian car interior, particularly the sort of fabric that's here. Now, Jerry and his brother are from Poland. They did make these over in Poland, but there are some differences between the Korean built ones like this one and the Polish built ones, interestingly. Got some Nubira branded sort of headrests in here. Oh, we've got some merchandise as well. This is Jerry's sort of little car group that he's part of, and I'm very pleased to say that I shall be taking these home with me, and we've even got this tie, which is excellent. I like that. Might have to wear that on one of my reviews. So a little ashtray down here. Overall, it's nothing particularly sort of adventurous, but a lot of the design and engineering work was done in the UK at Daewoo's former technical centre in Worthing. Ital Design Idea Institute did the sort of body styling, but a lot of the engineering was done in Worthing, which is interesting, really. Right, let's have a look in the boot, shall we, and see what delights we can find in there. Not today, viewers, I'm afraid. So more stickers for Jerry's car group. They've got a nodding dog as well, and it identifies as an electric vehicle. Excellent. This car is actually ultra emission zone compliant, if you can believe that. One thing we've got in here, which is interesting, is this old scan tool, which came from Poland. It was a big sort of thing for reading codes and Daewoo's back in the day, and it is just fantastic to see things like this. And here's the not a sex stick, just 10 disc CD changer. And if the CDX model was the top of the range with a 2-litre engine, you got more equipment, and that was probably an option again. Let's have a look under here and we see the spare. Let's lift this up. There we go. A spare that has probably never been used, I shouldn't imagine, in there. Fantastic. Well, Jerry's going to flip back. We've got all the tools in here as well.
Never used.
Thank you. Never used. Immaculate, you know. And this car it's completely rust free. There's no rust on this car, which is amazing. You just think, oh, after all these years they'd be rusting away, but no. Right, let's have a look under the bonnet, shall we, and have a look at the Family 1 engine. So this is Daewoo's own version of the GM Family 1 engine. It's branded as an E-Tech. It's actually got a variable intake system on it, so it gives it a little bit more power. The Lanos I drove back in, I think it was February I drove it, a 2000 Lanos, has the same engine. In this car it develops about 102 horsepower, it's something like that. It feels a bit sort of nippy. Maybe it's more like 106. It feels quite nippy. Certainly a lot of the parts in here would be shared with a lot of Vauxhalls and things like that, because it's a Family 1 engine, this car. Obviously that bit is unique to it, and you can see you've got the Daewoo airbox on there and a unique sort of plastic cover on top of there as well. Generally these are pretty easy engines to work on. Cambot covers just here. This car having done 25,000 miles, it does look really nice under here, which is delightful, really. I don't think I've ever seen one of these really full stop in years, but certainly not one in this sort of condition. And hopefully, you know, once that's changed, it will look great again. Okay, viewers, let's go out for a little spin, shall we? Unfortunately, there is another problem with this car, and that is the ABS reluctor ring. So if you hear the brakes making a weird noise, that's what it is. It needs changing. It's not an expensive part or anything, it's just a little bit annoying. Apart from that, this car is in excellent mechanical order. It's sat for many years unused in a garage and was recently put back on the road. So you get a 1.6 engine with this. This is 102, 104 horsepower, depending on what your source is. 0 to 60 is about 11 seconds, I think. It feels very willing though, like it does in the 1.6 Lanos, where it actually is quite fast. The engine you probably might want to go for, if you can actually find one, because these are such rare cars that you buy on condition, not specification, is the 2 litre with 131 horsepower. I bet that is actually pretty nippy. They didn't make any other engines for the Nubira, so we can talk about all of them. One thing I would mention though, this is a 2001 car and it's ultra emission zone compliant, but some of the early ones are not, which is a shame. In fact, Jerry did have a silver one of these that was an earlier car and it wasn't compliant, which is the reason why he's kept this one and not the 2 litre car. But yeah, it feels pretty enough to drive, particularly this early one, this really low mileage one that has a really tight gearbox in it, you know, the steering feels really good. It was unaffected by what happened earlier on today, so that's great. It doesn't particularly excite. It's more really orientated for comfort rather than sportiness, this car. Like most of the Daewoo's were like that anyway. But it still feels good. I actually quite enjoy this. Of course, I'm a little bit biased because, like Jerry and his brother Bart, I love these old Daewoo's. I think they're very interesting. But some of you will just say, well, it's just another car. But rarity doesn't really equal value, which is a shame. Otherwise, these would be worth a lot more than they are. But you know, any of the cars they have being at like under half no budget reviews money, and just being a little bit different, I'm very grateful to have had a go in this, and I quite like it because I don't know why I thought I wouldn't, but of course I do, because it's wonderful. So look at some more information, viewers, about the first generation Daewoo Nubira. This is a J150. The pre-facelift ones are known as the J100. So they're built in South Korea and Poland, as we've said, also Egypt up until 2012, Romania, Ukraine and Vietnam. There was a special edition of this facelifted version in 2001 based on this 1.6 SE model, although I don't think this is special. I think this is a normal one. If you go for the CDX, you get things like rear electric windows, you get alloys as standard. These were optional on this car, and the body colour door handles and things like that. So viewer, should you consider a first generation Daewoo Nubira for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000? Well, if your name's Jerry, then yes, because this is his second one, and he loves this car, and it will be brought back to its former glory. I quite enjoyed this car. It's not the most exciting car I've driven, but I quite like it. I'm that sort of person. I like stuff like this because it's really rare and it's interesting. And all the Daewoo's that Jerry and his brother own, they were all bought for under half no budget reviews money, which gladdens my heart. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.